One of the aspects that the App Inventor does not excel is the layout organization. Sure, there are layout components and we already talked about them, but they unfortunately do not allow for many fine adjustments. Often we want to organize our screen layout into fields that fall into some sort of a grid. And this is why here we want to explore some other options for a neat screen layout organization. The first example, which already has its title set in a horizontal arrangement right here, addresses the need for organizing, say, square text fields equally spaced across the screen. So how do we make this one row of, say, 5 fields? First, we're going to start with the horizontal arrangement right here that we're going to set to fill the parent, to fill the width. And let's say we want to make these fields to be 60 by 60 pixels. So we're going to set this first horizontal arrangement to be slightly larger, so say 65. Why we do that? We want to maintain some spacing between this row that we're going to create with whatever's going to come below. So in this case, we're going to have 5 pixels of spacing because we're making this at 65, right? We center both in horizontal and in vertical. And then we actually import the next horizontal arrangement, which is nested into this first one. And this is the one that's going to actually host our text fields. So that's why we set this one to exactly 60 pixels in height. And then the width we can set depending on how many fields we want to have here. So we can figure it out. In this case, it's 450 pixels. It's also centered both horizontally and vertically. And then we start importing our fields, right? So this is our first text field that is important as a text box. We said we wanted it to be 60 by 60 pixels. We can set the font size if we wish, right? In this case, it's set to 26. And the next one is a little trick that we do to maintain equal spacing within this horizontal arrangement. We import another text field, which is essentially like a dummy text field, and we call it here blank. So what this does is has the same height, obviously, as our text field, and it has some short width. In this case, it's 10 pixels, because we want to maintain 10 pixels spacing between the neighboring fields, right? Again, we can set the font size if we wish. Now that we created this pair, if we want to multiply them, we don't need to keep inserting and formatting these text fields. We can simply just copy and paste them. So we select, say, this text field first, right? This is not just copy, paste, then the blank, copy, paste, field, copy, paste, right? So this would be 3 pairs. We said we wanted to have 5, so this is going to be the 4th one and its own dummy. And then finally, this is the last and the 5th text field that we created. So this is now, we created one row of 5 text fields that are equally spaced, and we can quickly check how does this look like on the phone that is paired through the AI companion and mirrored on this laptop screen. So if we take a look at that right here, we see this neat row of 5 text fields in a single row that are equally spaced, right? So let's say we want them to pop up a little bit more, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to go to this top level horizontal arrangement, and we can change the background color from the default to whatever. Let's say we change it to gray. And in this case, we see now that these fields, right, since we have some solid background, they pop up a little bit better. The other thing we can do, since we created this single row, if we want multiple rows, we can now multiply this again with just the copy and paste, right? So we select the top level of the horizontal arrangement, Control C, Control V, and we have 2 rows, right? Obviously, we can just keep doing this as many times, and we're now kind of going into something that would look more like creating a Wordle game, say, right? We have this neat text fields. So this concludes the first example. It shows how we can set a grid of equal fields on the screen. And in the next example, we're going to show some other options that we can build. Until then, bye.